In California, we all go to great efforts to control harmful evaporative emissions. But even with all of the fuel vapor control measures in place, more can be done. The addition of the new low-pressure fuel evaporative test to the smog check inspection is projected to make a significant reduction in evaporative emissions. This test is one more element in an overall strategy to reduce air pollution. Evaporative emissions are harmful to our health. Fuel vapor is a major source of reactive hydrocarbons and is a key ingredient in the formation of smog. Smog aggravates asthma and causes long-term lung damage. Benzene from gasoline vapor is a major source of airborne carcinogen. Smog diminishes our cardiovascular and immune system function. Certainly, our efforts to control evaporative emissions are not always fail-safe and clearly need periodic inspection. Now, let's take a look at the low-pressure fuel evaporative test. The evaporative pressure test applies to all 1995 model year and older vehicles equipped with evaporative controls. However, there are some exemptions. Vehicles for which there are no fuel tank filler neck adapters. Vehicles powered exclusively by CNG, LNG, or LPG. Vehicles not originally equipped with a fuel evaporative control system. Vehicles with 2 or more fully operational fuel tanks. And vehicles in their original configuration with an evaporative canister and fuel vapor hoses that are not accessible or would require the partial dismantling of the vehicle in order to gain access. However, if the vapor hose leading from the tank to the canister is accessible, the test must be performed. Do not disassemble, raise, hoist, or lift the vehicle to conduct the evaporative pressure test. So then, why only target 1976 to 1995 vehicles? Certainly, any vehicle has the potential to emit unwanted evaporative emissions. Well, the evaporative systems of newer vehicles equipped with OBD2 are self-tested. As you know, almost no 1976 to 1995 model years have this capability. There are a few, but not many. Additionally, California Air Resources Board studies tell us that by 2010, evaporative emission will account for over 1/2 of the total hydrocarbon emissions from 1976 to 1995 model year light-duty vehicles. The Air Resources Board also projects that the low-pressure fuel evaporative test will reduce evaporative emissions caused by this group of vehicles by 14 tons per day. In other words, left unchecked, an additional 14 tons of hydrocarbon emissions will pollute our air daily. In the following scenarios, we'll discuss the low-pressure fuel evaporative test. We'll use 2 different testing devices currently under consideration for certification by the state.
Hello, ma'am. How may I help you?
Hi, it's time for my smog test. Can you do it right now?
Certainly.
Oh, great. I'll wait. I have a friend who has a car like mine who told me they did an extra test on his car when he got it smogged recently. Is there a new test?
It's called the low-pressure fuel evaporative test. It's a new requirement for 1995 or older vehicles. What year is your car, ma'am?
It's a 1991.
So it will get the new test.
Well, what does it do?
It pressure tests your car's fuel evaporative system and checks for leaks.
Like the vapor recovery system at gas stations?
Somewhat like that. On your car, there's a system that stores gasoline fuel vapors. We call it the EVAP system.
Well, what does that do?
The EVAP system routes those vapors to the engine to be burned. This is instead of letting them vent into the air and causing air pollution. Unfortunately, sometimes these systems leak themselves. This new test checks for leaks in the EVAP system.
Well, that makes sense to me.
Perfect. Let's get your estimate started. Can I please have your first and last name?
Angela Pierce.
Hey, Alfred. I haven't conducted the new EVAP test. Can I watch you run through it?
Sure, no problem.
I read the operator's manual and it seems pretty straightforward, but I know you've done a few already.
It's pretty simple. Let's start with the calibration check. The calibration interval is the same as the bar 97 calibration check every 3 days. I figured we'll check it each time we do the calibration on the bar 97.
Sure, that makes sense.
As you can see, you just follow the prompts and continue. Let's see. Select number 3, cal check. Then, connect the tester to the calibration tank. Okay,
That seems pretty simple.
yeah, let's keep going. It passed, so we're ready to go.
Great. So has it ever failed?
Well, the first time I checked it, I didn't hook the tester to the calibration tank, and it failed.
That certainly would do it.
So, out of curiosity, I tried to run a test.
What happened?
Well, the tester wouldn't allow the test. It required a calibration.
So it has a built-in safeguard.
It does. Basically a go, no-go check.
Okay.